Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the class design is up for the brand new class. Let's get right into it. A new drop interface was added to Adventure Quest Worlds by accident. I recorded it, and there's a video of it after we go through all of the class breakdowns. So look forward to that at the end of the video. But to celebrate our new musical event, the class team has been hard at work on the new class, Heavy Metal Necro and New Metal Necro. The New Metal Necro Class is a version that's easier to both obtain and use. Okay, I had to pause the recording to get my thoughts together. So this is probably like light mage to light caster, which is annoying and probably means there'll be a level requirement on the full-fledged version of this class. So if you're not leveled up, level up. You need that for the late game classes, and I guess they have to make levels mean something, because after level 50 you're basically able to do everything in the game other than use certain classes and quests and items and stuff. So where were we? So the Heavy Metal Necro Class will be released part of the VIP event collection package. So there is a color custom version. I read it a little forward there, but there will be a color custom version that's available for money only. So they're selling packages in both AQ3D and Adventure Quest Worlds for the event, but you won't be able to spend ACs or Dragon Crystals on these. It says, unfortunately, we are not able to pay our guests with in-game currency. Yeah, no shit. We need a separate, secure, easy-to-track system for these transactions. Buying these packages are a direct way to support both the musical guests and the game. So, yeah, I don't get this. I think it's just them like saying like, hey, it's a simple way to do it. It requires a little to no effort from us, so that's the way we're going to do it, instead of having the more consumer-friendly approach of letting you spend the in-game currency that's supposed to be used on in-game items on the in-game items and not having to spend more real money. But that's a rant for another day. We're here to talk about a class. So you can get a color custom version. It will cost you $20, I'm pretty sure, in Adventure Quest Worlds, and there'll be another $20 package in AQ3D if you play that, or if you play both, you can buy $40 for both, which, you know, you get a discount if you buy both, so it's kind of silly. No point in doing that. Just buy it separately in each game. The Dark Metal Necro is the free version of it. That's the farmable one, so that's what the farmable one will be called. And yeah, it says they are built for experienced players. The feature momentum based playstyle that keeps the risk high and the damage higher. So risk reward type of class, I think, is what they're going for. So it's not going to be a pet based class like I hoped it'd be. Maybe one day we'll get a good battle pet class. Not today, I guess. Alright, mana regen for the class is when they strike an enemy in combat, more effective on crits, that's good, and are struck by an enemy in combat. Very good, very good. The melee attack is melee range. The auto attack, I mean to say, is melee range and damages your enemies with a cruel cut, applying a talon twisting that adds 50% of damage done to your auto attacks for 8 seconds. The auto attack is relatively standard, except that a hit applies talon twisting for 8 seconds, meaning this aura is always active. This class performs best when taking damage, and talon twisting contributes to that, adding half of all damage you take to your next auto attack. That sounds pretty lethal for PvP. If you don't die in your first hit in PvP, your second hit's going to do 50% of the first hit you receive, so that actually sounds awesome. Okay, I read through the skill. It sounds really good. So it is melee range. That's probably the worst part about the skill. Mana cost of 10, reasonable. And a cooldown of 6 seconds, also pretty reasonable. Unleash a wicked sound wave, summoning otherworldly ghouls that mob your foe, applying rebreathing, which increases all outgoing damage by 20%. Or is that reverberating? Yeah, okay, reading's hard. Damage by 25%, lasts for 3 seconds. Also applies Foregone Conclusion for 6 seconds, restoring health based on the damage dealt once the effect fades. So you get a heal and some damage output on your 6th skill, or on your 1st skill, I mean. So, pretty good. Seems like the luck enhancement is going to be the one we're using on this class, because we have another melee range skill with a cooldown of 8 seconds and a mana cost of 15. Conjure an unholy creature that crushes your opponent's body and mind, dealing massive damage and increases as your health decreases. Also applies Shatter Psych which decreases enemies' critical hit chance by 30% for 10 seconds. If Curse Echo is present, applies Insanity, which increases critical hit chance by 7% for 40 seconds, stacking up to 21% or 3 times. So that's pretty good. That's not terrible. And yeah, the more damage, the lower your health is. I'm not a big fan of classes that use that style of play, personally, but it does end up being pretty decent if you're on lower HP. But managing that in a game that runs at a low frame rate is kind of rough, but at the same time, we'll see how this plays out when we actually get our hands on the class. You know Pisces been a class when there's a haste boost. So, mana cost of 10, 6-second cooldown, melee range, who would have guessed? Unleash sonic destruction upon your opponent, shaking them to the core, and apply Terrified, which decreases their dodge by 30% for 10 seconds. If Insanity is present, applies Deranged Frenzy, increasing your haste by 25% for 10 seconds. I like it. With all the enemy debuffs, it's looking to be a pretty decent PvP class. Alright, last up on the block is the last skill, your 5th skill. So it costs you 0 mana and has an 8-second cooldown. So pretty low cooldown, pretty low mana cost. By entering a contract with a sinister entity, acquire malicious power at the cost of your health. Also applies Dark Pact, increasing incoming damage by 25% for 6 seconds, stacking to 3. So it's up to 75% incoming damage. Yeah, so be careful using this. You don't want that. If Reverberating is present, applies Curse Echo for 8 seconds, which increases physical outgoing damage by 25%. So I'm a little confused initially when I'm reading this, whether this will cancel out this. So like if you either pick one or the other, because having lower HP is helpful in this class if you look at the other skills, but just playing it safe might be the better play, doing 75% outgoing damage. Or they might both apply at the same time, making it just, yeah, crazy. So if we read the subtext, mostly reading subtext isn't really necessary, but this skill requires some thought to use. If you use it carelessly, you'll just be damaging yourself and increasing the amount of damage you take. However, if you use it immediately after Reverberating, you'll gain 1 stack of Curse Echo for 8 seconds and increase your outgoing damage by 75%. Stacks refresh when skill is reapplied. Damage taken when using the skill also contributes to Talon Twisting, Foregone Conclusion, and the Nuke skill. And if you're in a group with someone that heals you, you may want to use the skill to keep your health low to deal extra damage. So by reading this, I assume that it applies both of the two things at once. So you're doing 75% more damage, taking 75% more damage at 3 stacks on that skill. I mean, that's pretty nuts. If you use it properly, you won't be doing the 75% damage if you're not using Reverberating from the other skill above. But yeah, so the passives are 300% endurance, which if we look at the Void High Lord passive, increasing endurance by 50% on Void High Lord, and I thought that was nuts. But no, just 300%. Increasing outgoing damage and hit chance by 15%. Hit chance is big actually, and outgoing damage, that's good. That's very good. And then at rank 10, you get increased crit chance by 25%. I'm liking this class. I am liking this class quite a bit. Now there's also a new metal skill breakdown. So this one was for the Dark Metal. So this is the full-fledged version of the class. And I'm guessing that new metal will be some of the Lightcaster and Light Mage, so I don't think I'm really going to go through this. If you want to read the design notes, you could do that if you wanted to. Yeah, it looks like... Actually, it might be different. One sec, I'm going to read through it, and then I'll tell you if it's the same or different. Yeah, it's basically just like a baby version of the top class, so you don't really have to worry about that. Most players that watch this channel aren't going to be low enough level to even have to use this class, and I don't see a reason why you'd want to, because it looks like it's all around just worse than the Dark Metal version. So yeah, you can read that if you want to on the side notes. Of course, I'll leave that linked in the description of this video. But yeah, that is all we have. So if you want to see, I'll leave a clip at the end of this of the new drop menu that was added in game. It looks similar to AQ Lite. I'll talk about it in that clip, and let's play that clip right now. Okay, here is what a drop menu looks like in game for AQ. I'm on the browser. I think if I move my recording window up, you can see, yeah, I'm in Chrome right now, not on a client like AQ Lite or anything like that. It doesn't look like the art team got to this, considering the aspect ratio of the text is wrong. Although AQ likes to do that anyway, like they're maintaining aspect ratio is not something they're good at. It doesn't happen a lot. If you look at capes and stuff like that, aspect ratio does not stay maintained, but I would hope they would maintain aspect ratio for the font and the text on boxes like this. So I can say no to the drops, and then the menu disappears when all the drops are gone. Ideally, you'd be able to move this box, or it would be transparent, or both. Hopefully both. And of course, the art team has not got to this yet, but it's in game right now. There is a legitimate drop menu that you don't need an external client to run in the game, and that's probably one of the best features of AQ Lite. So that's really cool, and I can't wait to see what it looks like when the art team gets to it. I don't think it'll have the previews that AQ Lite has, which is amazing. Like being able to see an item before putting in your inventory completely skips the step of having to delete or bank an item that you don't want. So that's really great, and that's good quality of life. And having AC tagged or membership isn't on here because the legend top hat is member item and the text is the same color. But that might change when the art team gets to this feature. So new feature, pretty cool. You can see they removed the feature from the game right now. This is current times, not a clip recorded in the past. And but that's all for the video. So I'm sure they'll add the drop menu to the game maybe on Monday, maybe next week, or sometime in the future, maybe on the Friday release, or maybe tomorrow. There will be a live stream tomorrow on this channel. Make sure you guys check that out. We'll be using the brand new class. I'm probably gonna buy the $20 I'm a sucker for color custom classes, man, especially rare color custom classes. And I mentioned that color custom class is gonna be rare. Yeah, so I'll probably get that version and not farm the class. Alright, but I will still do videos on farming, and if there's any tricks or anything for it, I'll upload a video on that. And yeah, so thanks for watching this video. Leave a like if you liked it, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.